again. You say, just can't make me feel this way. My girl, my girl, my girl. Talking about my girl, my girl. Hey, look here, man. I felt the temptation spirit dismiss me. You know what I mean? But anyways, man, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man. Jay Willie Silly, man. Hey, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Bro, okay, the little ones, you don't know what I'm talking about, bro. But for the people that's upper age, man, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? The Temptations movie is one of the greatest movies of all time. My girl, talking about my girl, my girl. Ooh. Hey, I'm telling you, bro, I really feel like I can sing. I just get some classes. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like I can blow though, for real, like for surely. But anyways, man, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy. For you end up like busy. But make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you need to know about your boy Jay, it's in the description down below. Your boy Jay will not be live streaming tonight. You know what I mean? But it is plenty of uploads on the second channel, 007 Light, man. I don't know why I keep saying that wrong, bro. 007 First Light. You know what I'm saying? I keep saying it. I keep getting it mixed up. I don't know why. But part 1 through 10, bro, was uploaded, bro. And I really feel like y'all will enjoy the gaming channel. I really, really do. You know what I mean? So y'all just give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't really like new content, bro, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. You know, let's stop being in a box. Let's get outside the box a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, we got 3 scary. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all this. I'm going to ask this question, man. I really want to know, man, how are y'all enjoying y'all summer? You know what I mean? For all my fellow graduates, how life treat you, man? You know what I'm saying? Welcome to adulthood. You know what I'm saying? 10th graders, 9th graders, 11th graders, the ones that just got in 12th grade. You know what I mean? Enjoy high school, man. Really, really enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're never going to get it back again. I told y'all the worst thing that I ever said when I was little, when I was in high school, I can't wait to be grown. You know what I mean? I wish I would have never said that. I wish that would have never came out of my mouth. I just like reminding y'all, man. I'm telling y'all, man. But I know a lot of y'all, it's like a never-ending cycle when it comes to children. You know what I mean? I ain't listen. You know what I mean? It took for me to go through things, for me to listen. You ain't gonna listen. It don't matter what I say. You ain't gonna listen. You think you know it all. You know what I'm saying? You think you ready to be grown. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is when it comes to kids. I mean, I was the same way. Motherfucker, when I get 17 and 18, you just start thinking you know everything. I don't know what the freak it is. My brother was the same way. My sister was the same way. I was the same way. I don't know. I guess it's just a freaking cycle. But I ain't gonna lie, I learned a little, like, I actually started listening, like, pretty early, though. You know, I had my little teenager phase and whatnot, you know, not listening to my mom and dad thinking I know everything. But it really ain't take me too long for me to, you know, start listening, you know? Like, I don't know. I've always been kind of, like, more wiser, you know what I'm saying, like amongst my years, you know what I mean? Like I never like really having a hard life, you know what I mean? So I start understanding, I'm like, okay, my life is hard because of me. So if I just stop doing things to make my life hard, then my life would be pretty easy, you know what I'm saying? So I just really started like, you know, listening more, and my life just became easy. But we got 3 scary true summer camp horror stories. Make sure y'all subscribe, turn on the bell, thumbnail time. I love doing thumbnail time. I love doing it. DJ, what it do?
I used to spend my summers as a camp counselor when I was in my early 20s. I got in a lot of trouble when I was younger, and a big reason was that I didn't have any positive role models growing up. So being able to spend my summers out in nature and be a role model to kids was such a rewarding experience. It helped me to eventually turn my own life around. However, not every experience was a pleasant one. This specific story happened back in the summer of 2019. At that time, I had already worked at the camp as a counselor for 5 years. Each counselor was given a group of kids, and you were basically responsible for that group, almost like a teacher with a classroom.
I'm not gonna lie, even for me, bro, I'm just a dude, bro. Like I'm not a strict dude. I'm not gonna say I'm like I'm not a strict dude, bro. So it's like the worst thing you can do, bro, is give me a group. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I mean, like I'm just like not a strict dude, bro. You know, I like having fun, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the worst thing you could do is let me be over a group because we gonna have fun. We gonna be in nature. We gonna be in the woods. We gonna be throwing rocks at squirrels, and you know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, I got that inside me, bro. My inner child ain't never gonna leave. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm mature. I'm way more mature than what I used to be, bro. But my inner child ain't never gonna leave me, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Summer camp I was at was not like a lot of summer camps that you'd see in movies or TV. It wasn't your typical summer camp bunking situation. Instead of it just being this big barracks-like room, it was set up a lot like a house. You walk in the front door, and you enter this big common area with a TV, a wraparound couch, and a small kitchenette. The common room had a hallway that led to 3 bedrooms. Each room had 4 beds, so I was responsible for 12 campers. My room was on the other side of the common room. The living situation was designed like this to basically give the teens a taste of what it may be like to live in dorms when they go away to college in a few years. One morning, one of the campers came to me and told me that he kept hearing someone walking around all night and it was keeping him awake. I told him that it was probably one of the other campers using the bathroom, but he didn't think so. He said that he's heard the footsteps for 2 nights now, and when he does, he can hear them all night. I told him I would look into it, and it was nothing to worry about. I honestly assumed it was most likely one of the other campers messing around with the kid. That night, when everyone was in the common room before lights out, I made an announcement to all my campers. I reminded them that once it's lights out, that means everyone is required to stay in bed unless they have to use the bathroom. Most of the campers looked at me with that oblivious look in their eyes, but all shook their heads in agreement. Right before 1 in the morning, I heard several of my campers screaming. I jumped out of bed and ran to their room. When I turned on the light, the 4 teenagers in that room looked like they had seen a ghost. One of them was even in tears. When I asked what happened, one of the kids just pointed to the doorway. The one who came to me earlier about the footsteps finally spoke up. He said he saw a figure standing by the closet door. He thought he was going crazy, so he tried to ignore the figure and go back to sleep, but he couldn't. He said he could hear the sound of heavy breathing. It was too dark in there to see for sure if it was actually a person. It just looked like a shadow obstructing the closet doorway. Instead of freaking out, he woke up his roommates. They also saw the figure, but they didn't know what it was. Apparently, the camper who was in tears was convinced it was one of the other campers from the other room playing a joke on them. He decided to get out of bed and approach the shadowy figure, and when he did, the figure ran out of the room and slammed the door behind it. That's what caused them all to scream. When I asked one camper who tried to approach him if he got a good look at the figure, he said no. But whatever or whoever it was tall, really tall. That's when he knew it wasn't one of the other campers. I still wasn't convinced a random shadowy figure was just standing in their room.
I mean, bro, like you just delusional at this point. So everybody lying, bro. Everybody just lying. Everybody just seeing stuff. I still wasn't like people like you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. People like you, bro, I can't be around, bro. I'm just keep it real with you, bro. Like people like you, bro, just think that the world is just so picture perfect, man. It's just so glamorous. Nothing can happen to me. You know what I mean? No day. I am exempt from danger. You know what I mean? It is impossible for anything to happen to me. It probably happened to those people. I probably see it in movies, but it's not going to happen to me. People with that type of mindset, bro, I just can't be around, bro. I take everything serious. Okay, kids, we're out of here. We will not come back. I mean, we're out of the cabin that day. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I know how people is. I told y'all, when you had things happen to you, bro, you see the world pretty different than most people. See him right here, he ain't never had nothing happen to him. You know what I mean? He never had no weird stuff happen to him. You know what I'm saying? So he really think that the world just picture perfect. Nobody will hurt me. Nobody will snake me, nothing. He just look at humans like it's just perfect. Looking at all the kids like it's just crazy. Everybody just crazy? So everybody crazy, huh? I'm still not convinced that they seen the shadow. So what the frick they seen then? You know what I'm saying? People like you, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. People like you, bro, be the first ones to die in movies.
I told them to stay in their beds, and I'd look around and make sure nobody was there.
Just think people playing all the time. Everybody ain't freaking playing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always think somebody playing around, bro. Just because you play around, bro, that don't mean people playing. What type of stuff they gonna joke about this? Like, that's all I be saying, bro. I tell you, bro, can't be around oblivious. I can't do it, bro. People that just shrug things off, bro. Hey, bro, you got to get away from me, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You got to get away from me.
The other two rooms were awake and were asking what was going on.
Every time something happened, bro, you're just tripping. Bro, it's probably... You ever been around somebody like that? It's not annoying to you, bro? You know what I mean? Every time something happens, bro, what's going on with that? Bro, it's probably this right here. Bro, you're probably this, bro. It's just this. Always trying to make an excuse for something, bro. I can't be around the type of people.
And I told them to just stay in their rooms. I was convinced that it had to be another camper.
Like,
maybe even one from another dorm.
what?
I believed that they thought they saw something, especially because I could see the fear in that one kid's eyes. I just didn't think it was anything to get worked up about.
What?
I searched the house and I didn't see anybody or even any evidence that anybody had broken in. The door was still locked and there wasn't even any mud or grass tracked in from outside. It took a little while, but eventually I got the campers to relax and calm down. I decided to sit in the common room for a while and read. I was wide awake now, and I also wanted to see if this prankster was going to resurface tonight.
Prankster.
I started to doze off after a while. I wasn't even fully asleep yet when I heard the wood floor creaking from down the hall. I sat completely still for a second because I wanted to make sure I was hearing what I thought I was hearing. It was footsteps, there was no doubt about it. I got up and slowly made my way to the hallway. I didn't want to turn on the light and scare them away. Remember, I thought this was another camper, so I wanted them to think they were getting away with their little prank. I expected to see one of them standing there like a deer caught in headlights, but that's not what I got. When I looked down that hallway, standing in front of an open window was a tall figure. I couldn't make out any details from this figure, but it was there. It was a dark silhouette, clearly a person. Its hand was on the doorknob of the same room that it had been earlier. I didn't scream because I didn't want to wake up the campers or scare them any more than they already were. The figure let go of the door and turned to face me. I had never been so scared in my life. I couldn't even see this thing's eyes, but just knowing that it was looking back at me made me feel like my legs were made of jello. Now that it was facing me, I could see that the figure was even taller than I thought. Its head was almost hitting the top of the door frame. This was clearly not a teenager. Just the way it moved, you could tell it wasn't a kid. I expected the figure to charge at me, but it didn't. It felt like an uncomfortably long time that the figure just stood at the end of the hallway. I could even hear them breathing heavily. Then, with a strangely erratic movement, it stepped out of the open window and it disappeared into the darkness. Then I called the man in charge of the camp and told him he had to call the police, which he did as soon as we got off the phone. Some of the other counselors who weren't responsible for staying with the kids searched the surrounding woods, but didn't find any sign of another person. When the police came, I told them everything I could, but because the information I had was so vague, they couldn't do anything. It's not like the cops can go off a description that says they looked like a tall shadow. I felt like we should have canceled the rest of camp, but the kids and their parents decided it was safe.
Okay.
We continued with the rest of summer camp.
So I don't want to hear parents, oh my God, why my kid? Why? You know what I'm saying? Something happened to your kid. For me, I'm pulling my kid out of camp immediately. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be the main ones crying, you feel me? Something happened to your kid. You know what I mean? You see that, you feel me? Like, most likely a dangerous person. You know what I mean? Most likely what type of, well-rounded man is just, sneaking around a summer camp with a whole bunch of kids? That right there tells you that he has ill intentions right there. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, it's cool, man. This is cool. Just, you can stay, man. It's safe, man. This probably was just a prank, man.
The family that operated the summer camp hired some off-duty cops to sit around the camp and basically be security.
Probably was just somebody playing a prank.
Every door and window throughout the entire property to make sure everything was locked.
Now
It
people
was shocking to me that just about every window at the camp was unlocked. The first thing I did when I got home was make sure my windows at home were locked.
Oh, for sure.
I know that this story could have been much worse for the kids or me, and honestly, we're lucky that physically we left this unharmed. Seeing that figure messed me up. I can't imagine how those poor kids felt or even still feel. 2019 was not that long ago. The worst part of all this is the not knowing. We never got any answers. I have no clue where the shadowy figure came from. I have no clue what they wanted. And potentially most disturbing, I have no idea why they were only messing around with that one specific room. It's the not knowing that will keep me up for the rest of my life.
bro. You gotta understand, bro. That's just how wicked people are. You know what I mean? You gotta understand, wicked people, they can't rest, bro. They barely get any sleep. They can't sleep without doing harm to some people. But you got people that just do harm to people for no reason. He just was another one of them people. You know what I mean? People that do harm to kids for no reason. People do the most despicable things, bro. You know what, bro? You know, bro, you understand what I reacted to, bro? What I've seen, bro? Bro, I reacted to some horrific crimes. I reacted to decapitations, bro. I reacted to, bro, all type of, bro. I can't even, I don't even want to say it, bro. 'Cause I probably get yellow marked. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, cause I've seen some stuff, bro, that made me be like, bro, what the freak? But when I mean y'all, humans are evil, bro. Humans are evil. Put the E in evil. I'm talking about evil. You know what I'm saying? Word up. I don't put none past no human, but I don't trust nobody because I don't know what the heck is going on through your brain. I told y'all, I'm going to say it before. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. You miss me. You feel me? The true person, how a person truly is not on the outside. It's on the inside, bro. You don't know what a person battling. A person could be smiling in your face the whole time. He thinking about killing you. Smiling in your face, joking around with you, but the whole time when he get home, he thinking about killing you. He got thoughts of killing you, and you don't even know it. You think y'all cool. That's why I say, bro, I expect the worst from humans. I don't trust nobody, bro. I think the worst thing you can do possibly is have a lot of friends. You know what I mean? A lot of friends. I told y'all the most true crime cases that I do, who you think killing who? You talking about them dudes that you hang around with your friends. Some of them don't like you, bro. And trust me, the weirdest people in my life I've ever met. It wasn't a stranger. It was the friends that I called. It was the dudes that I called friends. Those was the weirdest people I ever met. Those was the dudes that used to try me. Those dudes that used to try me. Those dudes that used to say out of the way think when it come to strangers, bro. I really can't think of a time, bro. Honestly, and I'm really thinking of y'all. I can't think of a time where a stranger just did something weird to me, bro. Every weird thing that happened to me was somebody that I thought I was cool with. I'm telling you. And y'all probably the same way. Whenever a stranger ever like, one thing you could say about a stranger, if a stranger don't like you, you gonna know that mother ever don't like you. He ain't gonna fake it with you. But when it come to friends, that will make it more dangerous. Cause they act like they like you, but in reality they don't. I'm telling you, boy. Boy, I'm talking about, boy, I can count on my two hands. I'm telling y'all, boy. Boy, friends, boy. The boy you call friends, the ones that's around you, that's why I don't have nobody around me. That's why I only had like 1, 2 people around me, bro. Telling you, boy, I've been through some ish, boy. I'm telling y'all right now, boy. Made you question, like, what the freak? Is there anybody real in this world? For real? You know what I mean? For real. For me, I ain't never had no ill intention with Canaan. Nobody. Always been real. Always kept it 100. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand, bro, just because you a stand-up person, now I mean these people stand up, bro. I'm telling you, bro, I met more weird than fake, bro. Real, bro, I probably only met, man. Shoot, man. Real, man. 1, 2. Very few. Very few, bro.
Made me attend some stupid religious
summer weird, camp. Bro.
I hated the outdoors, and I wasn't a summer camp person. I like to spend most of my time playing video games or hanging out with my friends in the neighborhood.
Yeah, bro. Get your butt out the house.
I guess that's why my parents made me go. It was an effort to get me outside and hopefully make some new friends.
Get your butt out the house.
Instead, I left summer camp with an experience I'll never forget. Something that I still can't explain. I spent the first few days getting acquainted with my bunkmates and just getting a lay of the land. It honestly was fun. I was starting to enjoy myself. As a 15-year-old boy, I also loved the fact that this camp was co-ed. I remember going out of my way to try to impress the girls. One girl especially, Jenny Messina, I started crushing on hard. I started basing my camp activities for the day based.
We all had that one childhood crush, bro. We'll never forget. Morgan Graham. Childhood crush I ain't never gonna forget. Well, when I mean I was in love, boy. Morgan Graham. Matter of fact, I had 3 childhood crushes. You know what I mean? Like, my crushes, y'all. Morgan Graham, Shekinah McDaniels. And I'm gonna say Brianna Reese. Yeah. Brianna Reese. And people from Alabama probably look. I know I got some people back home that be watching me like, bro, what, you used to like Brianna? Heck yeah, bro. You used to like Shekinah, bro? What? Heck yeah. I was in love with Shekinah McDaniels. Shekinah, bro. Brianna Reese and Morgan Graham. Well, oh my God. Bro, bro, when I mean y'all, I was like, I don't say I was in love, bro, but bro, that was the biggest chat, like, bro, crushes, bro. Oh my God, bro.
Done whatever Jenny was doing.
And two of them liked me, though. I ain't know about Morgan Graham, though. I don't know about her, you know what I'm saying? I rarely even talked to her. She was just fine. I rarely even talked to her. You know what I mean? But I know she kind of liked me for sure. You know what I'm saying? I know Brianna was actually my girlfriend. You know, a little fake. They don't count that, but she was actually somebody I was girlfriend at the time.
She was the superstitious type.
I'm crazy about
Her
Brianna.
favorite part of camp was sitting around the fire at night and listening to ghost stories. Something I didn't think would be allowed at a religious summer camp. One night, while we were sitting around the campfire, one of our camp counselors told us a ghost story. There's a small cabin just a short walk from all the other cabins that's abandoned. According to the story, some horrific accident happened there decades ago, and ever since, the cabin's been abandoned. He didn't go into details about what happened there, but implied that it was gruesome, and he used the word evil. He then went on to tell us the classic ghost story tropes that one tells when they tell a story about some haunted building. People have claimed to see figures walking around through the windows at night, or hear strange noises. And according to the counselor, one camper was never seen again.
Holy crap.
Right after that, the counselor screamed in an attempt to scare the campers, and it worked for about 50% of the people listening to his story. Everyone left except Jenny. She asked if there really was a camper that was never seen again. The counselor told us it was just an urban legend, just a story they tell the older kids at camp to scare them. He doesn't believe it's haunted. We all sat around for a while after the story talking about it.
And then one thing I said about religious, bro, like, one thing I had, and it's just one thing that he said, bro. One thing about it, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just keep it easy. Cause I'm not gonna say like I am a religious person, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Christian man. One thing people tend to like act like they think like, okay, since I'm religious, I can't have any fun. I can't be around them type of people. You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm following the commandments, as long as I'm following what God's saying, why the freak I can't have fun? You know what I mean? People think they gotta change up who they are. No, change your ways. Don't change who you are. I could change my ways, but I can still be a funny little J. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see me, I'm still funny and all that. You a new subscriber, new viewer to my channel, you ain't know I'm a Christian man. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't going to change who I am. I'm going to change the ways, but I ain't going to change who I am. I can't stand them people that get religious, bro, act like they just can't have no fun, everything spiritual. Yeah, that right there was a sin. That right there, thou shalt not do that. I can't be around them type of people. Hey, bro, get away from me, cuz. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you right this, bro. Like I said, God said we are made in the image of him. We are made in his likeness. So when it comes to me and I make y'all laugh, bro, who you think gave me that personality? God funny? You know what I mean? Who you think gave me this personality, bro? You think I just came out and just... Who you think gave me this Martin, Bernie Mac, Chris Tucker? Who you think made him funny? Those are our personality. Those are God's personalities. Everything good is God's personality. You know what I mean? So God is showing you who he is through us. You feel me? The funny side, the loving side, the wrathful side. You feel me? God ain't freaking boring. God ain't... As long as you doing what he's saying, bro, he cool with you, bro. Just stop thinking everything you do gotta be like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Bro, as long as you following the commandments, bro, as long as you following his ways, bro, you cool, bro. Telling ghost stories ain't nothing wrong with that, bro.
We all assume they left the...
Am I the only one, bro? Raise your hand if you can't stand them type of religious people. I can't be around them type of people, bro. You can't have no fun with this person. Like, can't have no fun. Everything is saying around this. You do one little thing, you judging me, looking, dang, you supposed to be God, Jesus. Y'all be the main one sinning.
And they're empty on purpose to give the story some weight. Make it seem like it's actually a true story in some way. Having the empty cabin there for seemingly no reason gives the story a strange sense of validation. At
Probably
least
real.
That's what some people, like Jenny, thought. The counselor eventually gathers us all up and tells us it's time to head to our rooms for the night.
Jenny probably wants
What
you.
he didn't know was that a small group of us had a plan to sneak out that night to play Truth or Dare. Jenny was one of the people sneaking out as well. We waited a few hours to make sure all the counselors had gone in for the night, and we snuck out. We met down by the water, which was about a 10-minute walk from the cabins.
Jenny, my name is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. Heard about Jenny, you know what I'm saying? The name Jenny kind of brought Forrest Gump into my mind. Y'all ain't never watched Forrest Gump? You need to watch Forrest Gump. You need to watch, bro. You ain't never watched Forrest Gump, but what are you doing?
Wanted to make sure we were a safe distance from the cabin so nobody would hear us.
Thanks,
There
Forrest
were 8
Gump.
of us who snuck down there. The 5 boys got down there first, and the 3 girls showed up a few minutes after us. We sat around for a little while, and then started playing Truth or Dare.
Type
I
of
was
cute.
using this as an excuse to try and impress Jenny in some way. At first, everyone was scared to say Dare and was sticking to Truth. When it finally was my turn, I said Dare. They dared me to go inside the abandoned cabin, of course, and stay there for 10 minutes.
Shh.
I could see Jenny look terrified, but I didn't care about this haunted cabin. I didn't believe the ghost story. We all quietly snuck up to the cabin. There was this weird uneasiness in the air. I think it was because everyone was thinking about the story from earlier, so it felt like there was this shred of truth. I only felt slightly uneasy because I was about to break into a cabin when I was supposed to be in bed. Breaking 2 rules was a lot scarier to me than a ghost story.
No
I
cap.
walked up to the door and looked behind me. Everyone I was with was standing behind some trees watching me. I was surprised that the door was open. I didn't have to force it or try breaking into a window. I just walked right in like I owned the place. I closed the door behind me and walked around the empty cabin. It was dark. There was a little light coming inside the windows from the moon, but it was still mostly dark. It smelled old and musty in there, like nobody had been in there for years. It also felt colder than it should have. I continued walking around, trying to beat out the clock, and then I heard the sound of wood creaking behind me. It sounded like somebody walking. I turned around, and nobody was there. I thought to myself that maybe the wood had a delayed creak from my walking. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's what my teenage brain thought. I looked at my watch, and I couldn't believe only 2 minutes had passed. I felt like I had been in there for 20 minutes. There was a structural beam in the middle of the cabin that I decided to lean on while I waited. When I was standing there, I started hearing that creaking sound again. I looked all around the cabin, but it was still just me in there. Then, I heard the sound get louder and faster, almost like someone was running on the creaky wooden floor, but nothing was there, and then just stopped. I looked at my watch, and only another minute has passed.
Another minute.
I walked over to the window and looked outside to try and see my friends, but I couldn't see them. I cupped my hands on the window and looked exactly where they said they were, and they didn't appear to be there.
Bro, y'all playing games, bro? Like, you playing games? Are we serious? Oh, man, that would have been a very severe problem. So y'all just leave me in the cabin? That's crazy. And then the girl that you trying to impress not even know. Jenai. Where's Jenai?
I started knocking on the window, trying to see if I could get their attention, but nobody appeared from the other side of the tree. I didn't want to admit this to myself, but I was scared. The story and how all my friends reacted to it must have gotten to me on some level, because I felt off. I decided I was going to leave. I was sure that my friends would love to rip into me anyway. I walked over to the door to leave, and when I tried opening it, it wouldn't open. I tried to force the door open, and it still wouldn't budge. I looked down at the doorknob. I thought maybe I accidentally locked it when I walked inside, but there was no lock on the door.
He's scared.
I thought it had to be sticking then. I started to slam into the door, and nothing happened. While I was doing this, the sounds coming from inside the cabin were getting louder. The footsteps were loud and happening all around me. It felt unnatural. I swear I felt something sinister at that moment. It felt like someone was standing right behind me. I tried to tell myself that it was just my imagination, but I couldn't even turn around. I started banging on the door, yelling for help. I heard someone on the other side of the door trying to get it open, but they couldn't get it open either.
Oh,
It was
shoot.
Jenny. I thought everyone was gone because I didn't see them, but thankfully Jenny was there. I heard her say that the door was locked and that they were trying to get it open. I still didn't turn around. I know this sounds insane, but I felt breath on my shoulder while I was facing the door. I couldn't hear anyone breathing, and I never saw anyone with my own eyes, but I could tell somehow that someone was behind me. I let go of the doorknob and fell to the ground, leaning my head against the door.
Yeah, know what I'm saying, y'all. I'm telling y'all, bro. Such thing called spirits out here. I don't play with that junk. I don't play with them spirits, bro. I don't care about none of that, bro. You know what I mean? Think what you want to think. Think spirits ain't real. Yeah, all right. All right, gang. Nah, man, I'm telling you, that junk is real. Telling you right now. I mean, stop being oblivious, bro. And I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again because I want to open up y'all eye. I want to open up y'all eyes. I'm trying to open up your third eye. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to sleep, you literally leave this world. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say you leave this world, but bro, where the freak do we go when we dream? Can y'all answer that question? Where do we go when we dream? Where is this place that I go? Because I ain't gonna lie, I had a crazy dream about 5 days ago. Man, hey, bro, I'm telling y'all, bro, I kid y'all not. I was walking, I was in Blue Hall. It looked like it was Langston. I was just walking around the hallways, and I had these little freaking these little just statues. And I forgot this game that I played. What was this game that I played? But it was like these little statues. Like I'm walking, and then every time I walk, a statue just appear in front of me. You know what I'm saying? A statue just appear in front of me and just stay still, just looking at me. Bro, it was a crazy dream, y'all. I'm telling y'all, kid y'all not, bro. I had a dream like 5 days ago. It was a scary little dream. I'm like, what the freak? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Satan, bro, be after me at my dreams, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because ever since I started getting closer with God, I started having some weird dreams, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm walking around the hallway, bro. You know what I'm saying? And everywhere I turn, y'all, just a statue, just not even a statue, bro. It's not even a statue. It was just like a person just appear in front of me, bro, and just be looking at me. Every corner, poof. And then I turn around, poof. Just poof. It like they just spawn right there and don't move and just look at me. It's just poof, poof, poof. Boy, I woke up, I was scared as a mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, bro, I had that dream. Where the freak do we go when we dream, gang? Like, where was that place that I was at, bro? When I was walking around, where was that place? Mother, if I'm in my bed, then I'm in the hallways, motherfucker. That goes to show y'all that we are not we are spiritual beings. Cause where do the freak we go? How can my mind get me to go to this place I've never seen before? I tell my mother, if I see people in my dreams I never met, who the freak is you? You know what I'm saying? Who the freak is you? I never seen you in my life, and I'm seeing you in my dreams. Things I don't even heed on, things I don't even think about, I dream of. Am I tweaking? You dream about things you didn't even heed on. How many times you dreamed about a person you never seen before? You dream about things you don't even think about. You can't control your dreams. I don't care what nobody says. Once you go to sleep, it's free ball game. Man, I had the craziest freaking dreams, man. You know what I'm saying? The craziest, but that right there was one of the craziest. Tell y'all, I remember like it was yesterday, bro. Walking down the hallways, y'all. Every corner I'm turning, freaking human just appearing, just standing still, not moving, not just looking at me. You know what I mean? It was scary, bro. It scared me.
I was basically expecting.
It scared the freak out of me, bro. I woke up, bro, and I was scared. Man.
The door opened and I fell out. Standing there were 2 camp counselors. I never felt so much relief in my life. I ran out and fell to the ground in front of the cabin. I started thanking them for getting me out, and they didn't look pleased. They basically brought me to the main cabin, and I had to sleep in what is essentially solitary confinement, summer camp edition. The next morning, I had a meeting with the woman who runs the camp. I told her about my experience, and she just kept rolling her eyes, basically.
People like that, bro, I can't even talk to you. I'm just making it up, huh? You know what I'm saying? That's why people, I see why kids don't like talking to grown-ups, bro. I see now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you be a kid, cause it's like, I don't know, grown-ups be thinking they just know everything, and you just like, you see why kids don't talk to you. I'm not gonna be that type of parent, bro, growing up, or just that type of person, like growing up, because I know, like, when I was older, I wanted people to listen to me, so it's just like, you know, I see why people don't.
She told me that counselors aren't supposed to tell that story because it gives the campers nightmares.
Cause he really lived it.
She assured me that the story isn't true, and it's a stupid story designed to scare us.
Okay.
She didn't care much about what I had to say.
That's it.
She ended up calling my parents, and I got kicked out of summer camp for breaking curfew, sneaking out, and breaking into a restricted camp building. Honestly, I was so scared from the previous night, I didn't care I was getting kicked out. I was happy to be going home and spending the rest of my summer vacation grounded. Back then, I remember looking into the story more. The internet was not as expansive as it is right now. I couldn't find any details on whether the story was true or not. The camp has since closed, and every time over the years I try to look the story up, I never can find anything. It's easy to say that this was all my mind, but that's not the case. I don't get scared easily, and this was honestly the only time in my life I felt genuine fear. It's the only thing that's ever happened to me that I truly can't explain. I've heard wooden floors creak, even extremely old floors, and none of them have ever creaked so methodically before. I've always intended to drive up there sometime and see if the cabin still stands. If I do, maybe I'll go inside again and give that 10 minutes another chance. Who knows? Maybe this time I'll last the entire 10 minutes.
You're white, right? You're white? J Money, J Money, J Money, J Money, J Money. What's going on, J Money? Your little thick stuff had a story? You know what I'm saying? What's up with J Money, Godly? What happened to little Thicky? What happened to Thick Boy? Thick Boy had a little story?
My family has always operated a summer camp.
By that little catfish you met on Roblox? I was on Roblox and I thought that Nunu was a beautiful woman. She sent me a pic and she was vampired by it. You know what I'm saying? What is it, Thicky? Oh my God. J Money, J Money, J Money, J Money, J Money.
A summer camp for young teens for over 40 years. My parents still technically own and run the camp, but because they're getting older, they aren't really hands-on anymore. And they haven't been for a few years now.
Oh my goodness.
I take care of most of the activities and daily operations. Our camp runs 3 separate 12-day sessions during the summer. The 12th day is on a Friday, and we get a 2-day break before the next session starts on a Monday. Well, all the other employees get a 2-day break. I stay behind and make sure the camp is ready for the next batch of kids. One summer a few years ago, we had to cancel the last session because of something that happened. It started on the last day of the second session. One of the girls came up to me after breakfast and told me that she was happy to be going home.
Bro, what was that freaking bro? I watched the whole yo, bro. I think it was dang, bro. What was that? I watched every single movie. It was basically a camp where people was getting possessed and killing people around the camp. What was it called? It was called Fear. Dang, what the freak was that? They made 3 parts. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Them little kids going around just killing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was it was just like a summer camp, you know, a little camp and whatnot, bro. Man, motherfuckers just going around just killing I forgot. Was it Oak? It was something like, it was something, bro. It was something. I watched all 3 parts. I just can't remember the name, bro. Motherfuckers just going around just killing everybody. God, like, what the freak? I think they was getting possessed by something. Motherfuckers just going around killing everybody. I think it's on Netflix.
That always made me sad to hear because it was usually an indication that they didn't enjoy their time.
I gotta get in my drawers. I'm sorry.
When I asked her what was
I'm gonna just keep it real. Hold on, y'all. Let me get in my drawers right quick. I don't care what y'all talking about, bro. I'm in the crib just like y'all in the crib. One thing about it, when I'm in the crib, I cannot have shorts on. I walk around with drawers on. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. I walk around with drawers, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, you know, be professional a little bit, man. I'm at the crib just like you at the crib. Just like you in your drawers right now. I'm in my drawers right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel very uncomfortable having shorts on.
She told me that she didn't sleep well the last 2 nights.
Got the drawers! I got the drawers!
Happy to be going home and sleeping in her own room. I continued to ask why she didn't sleep well. She told me it was because she was being bothered by an owl man at night.
What?
I was almost at a loss for words.
Owl man?
I didn't know how I should react to this. I couldn't tell if she was joking, dreaming, or hallucinating.
Oh, God.
She said she saw the owl man 2 nights ago. She heard a tapping sound on the window. She woke up and saw the owl man outside.
Got no windows?
Like he was waving at her.
You got no blinds?
She woke up and saw the owl man outside.
Oh, man.
He looked like he was waving at her. She convinced herself she was dreaming and tried to go back to sleep. The next night, which was her final night sleeping at camp, she woke up to the owl man tapping on the window again. That's when she told me that she knew this wasn't a dream. He was clearly there. She went over to the window, and the owl man asked if she could let him in because it was cold outside.
Oh, this like on some From junk. You ever watch From? You know what I'm saying? Where them little freaking creatures just freaking staring at you, just smiling with that freaking vindictive smile. Freaking From creeped me out, I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, I mean, the first time I watched From, bro, I was freaked the freak out. Them little freaking things just sitting at you in the window, just freaking smiling with that little vindictive freaking smile. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, heck no.
She told him she wasn't allowed and to leave her alone. He made a sad sound and ran into the forest. While she was telling me all this, she didn't look scared or even that concerned. She just looked tired. I made sure she was okay, and she was, and then we went our separate ways. I waved it off as a vivid dream or just a crazy imagination.
Bruh.
After all, an owl man is a ridiculous sounding creature.
Alright, bro.
All the kids left, and I started getting the camp ready for the next session that was going to start that Monday. Just little tasks to get everything in order. Throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening, I kept hearing strange noises. I ignored it for the most part because I knew I was the only person on the grounds at this time. That night, I was staying on the grounds doing some paperwork and planning some of the activities for the next session. While I was sitting at my desk, I continued to hear these noises outside. I kept looking out the windows, but I never saw anything. Our camp is secluded in the woods, so it's not impossible for there to be an animal outside lurking around. A few hours into the night, I was finally getting ready to sit down and take a load off. Just as I put my feet up, a blast of light came through the blinds from outside. It was the motion sensor floodlight on the side of the house. I got up and looked outside. Still, I didn't see anybody or any animal out there. I won't lie, that freaked me out. This wasn't a sensitive floodlight. It doesn't just turn on when a raccoon or something small comes by. Something big enough to activate the sensor had to turn it on. And that's what freaked me out. I didn't even make it back to my chair when I thought I heard a scratching sound coming from the front door. I shouted and asked if anybody was out there, and nobody responded. I just kept hearing that scratching sound. That gave me a little more reason to believe an animal was out there, but it still didn't make a lot of sense. The animals around the camp never tried to get into one of the cabins this aggressively. I stormed over to the door and smashed my fist into it to try and scare the animal away, and it worked. The scratching sound stopped. I started listening through the wooden door, trying to hear anything I could so I could determine what animal was outside. A few seconds later, I heard the undeniable sound of footsteps descending the wooden stairs that led to the front door. I was in shock and fear all at once. I finally worked up the courage a few seconds later to stand up and look out the window that's next to the front door. I expected to see a person standing in the driveway staring at me, but once again, it was just the darkness and nothing else. I flipped a light switch on that turns the outdoor light in the front of the house on. Once again, I expected to see someone lurking, but again, nothing. I turned the light off and went back to my chair. I sat in silence for a while, trying to figure out what was happening. During that time, I didn't hear or see anything that made me think twice. Even though I know I heard the sound of footsteps, I convinced myself that I had misheard whatever was out there, and it had to be an animal. It was the only logical thing that made sense. A few hours passed, and I was getting tired. I eventually fell asleep in the chair. I'm not sure how long I was asleep when I heard a loud crash come from the back of the house. I jumped out of the chair because the noise was alarming. I could see the floodlight was shining in through the windows again. Instead of scratching, I heard a light tapping sound, this time coming from the back of the house. The tapping was coming from the other side of the glass sliding door that led to the back deck. I had curtains in front of the door, so I couldn't see outside. As I got closer to the door, the tapping was getting louder. I finally reached the curtains. I pulled them back, and standing just behind the sliding door was a man wearing a bright white owl mask. He was tapping on the glass door. It almost looked like he was waving back at me the way he was tapping. I started shouting in a panic, but the man didn't react. He just kept tapping. I tried to shout at the owl man to go away, but I think just a mumbled mess slipped out of my mouth instead. After I shouted at him, he stopped tapping. We just stood there staring at each other. The owl man grabbed the sliding door and tried to open it, but thankfully I had it locked. He asked if I could please open the door so he could show me what was in his bag. I wanted to act, but I couldn't move. The sheer panic I felt in this moment was actually crippling. I finally was able to fumble around in my pocket and grab my phone. As I was dialing 911, the owl man told me that it wasn't a good idea to call the police, and that it was going to make him very angry. Obviously, that didn't stop me. While I was on the phone with the police, the owl man ran back into the forest. I tried to see exactly where he ran off to, but once he hit the darkness, he was gone. The police eventually showed up, and after a full...
I guess she wasn't hallucinating. I guess she wasn't having a dream about the owl man.
...investigation and search of the surrounding area, they never found him.
I'm not gonna lie, I gotta chase you. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I mean, it's something gotta happen. You know, I gotta kill him or something. gotta tase. I gotta do something, man. I just can't have you run out in the woods and I just be here and, I just gotta do something. And like I said, Shorty with the 40, he ready, he in his glory. He trying to catch a body and tell his homies a story. Shorty got the 40, he ain't playing no games. You know what I mean? He trying to make a name, huh? I'm trying to make a dang name. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me being the armed man I am, I would unlock that door. You know what I mean? Because it pleases my soul, y'all, right? Let me go and preach something right there. It pleases my soul, you know what I mean, to know that you're dead than to know that you're just out there. You know what I'm saying? Because in this position, how I'm looking at this situation, is this either me or you? Either you gonna hurt me or I'm gonna have to hurt you. It's not, no well-rounded man is just sitting at my window, just knocking on my window with an owl mask on and a freaking, I don't know what time it is, you know what I'm saying? But I know it's late night. What type of man with common sense gonna be doing that? And then I just heard about the little girl talk about an owl man. Oh, owl man gotta die, man.
They did find the owl mask deep in the woods, just hanging from a tree.
Owl man gotta die, man.
A backpack with a pink t-shirt inside that had Vermont written on it with cursive handwriting. It's important to note that our camp is nowhere close to the state of Vermont. In fact, Vermont is on the other side of the country.
Hey.
The worst part of all this was that wrapped inside the Vermont shirt was a knife. Not just a pocket knife or a kitchen knife, but a big butcher knife. Even with the mask and backpack, they were never able to find out who the man was, where he came from, or what he intended to do. He just showed up one day trying to get inside one of the cabins, and he didn't try very hard. When the camper told him to go away, he did. When he tried to get inside my cabin, he once again didn't try very hard. He could have easily broken a window, but instead, he just disappeared. When the police found the backpack, that was more than enough evidence to cancel the next session. We just didn't know if it was safe to have all those children here with this owl man still on the loose. We never officially stated the reason to the public why we canceled the next session. My family was able to pull some strings and keep the real reason quiet from the public. It's why I'm writing this without giving my real name or the name of the camp, because we still run the camp to this day, and if parents knew a crazy man in a mask was wandering around in the woods, we wouldn't have a camp to run anymore. It's been a few years, and nothing like this has happened since. We even hired security guards just in case. Ever since that encounter, I've been on high alert every night, just waiting for him to come back. I hope every day of my life that this was just an isolated event, and that wherever the Owl Man is today, he stays there and never comes back to this camp.
Holy crap, man. I'm pretty sure the girl, you know what I'm saying, that's hearing this story, you know what I mean, knows exactly where the camp is, but y'all make sure y'all be safe out there, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all be safe out there. But y'all, it's a dangerous world out there, y'all. A very, very dangerous world, man. You know what I'm saying? So y'all make sure y'all be safe, man. Always be on the lookout, man. And be armed, man. Stay armed. That's all I gotta say, y'all. Stay armed. But anyways, man, it's your boy Jay, man. Take it easy. Before you end up like Beezy, man, your boy Jay out, man.